Yeah, no, our fan base has been outstanding from day one. Before I came here, you certainly researched the area you're going to and watching different events, whether it's Seahawk games or Mariner games or Sounder games. The passion that this fan base has always showed has been extremely exciting to come here and experience firsthand. And we're really excited to be partners with you as well in this deal and give our fans that access where they can see more of our games and have them readily available, where maybe in the past it wasn't as easy for them to see the games.
Well, that Winter Classic was a great event at T-Mobile Park. And the fans showed up for that and got excited. They got the jerseys, a lot of merchandise out there for this team. What was your experience with the Winter Classic?
I thought it was incredible. This is my first time really going through it. I played in one as an alumni in Pittsburgh years ago, but being there, the Mariners treated us out first class in the facilities, what they let us do. And looking through the stadium at 47,000 plus people, of which I think we probably had 45,000 were truly Kraken fans, which is normally not the case in outdoor Winter Classic games. Usually it's a bigger split. And I told the story. We scored our first goal, and that amount of people started chanting our goal song. I turned to my staff and I was like, "This is so cool! This is so cool!" And it chills. I mean, in 43 years in the business, I've never experienced anything like that. Credit to our fans and everybody in the city of Seattle. Just a great event.
Well, you walk around the last few years and you see the merchandise out there, and the fans are buying it all up, and the design of that Winter Classic jersey is top notch. When you see all the fans buying up your stuff and the popularity of this design and everything, it has to make you feel good.
It does. The beauty of starting a franchise is you get in the ground level a lot of things. So I was in a lot of those meetings, and you try and narrow it down to where you want to go and what's your name going to be, what's your design going to look like, and multiple trips and back. And I never forget, like, we thought we had the perfect logo, and we're sitting in the boardroom, and then our owner, Mr. Bonderman, looks at it and he goes, "I think we should put a red eye right here." And you could just see the Adidas people and everybody else kind of go, "Oh." And it turned out to be an absolute home run, right? So we're thrilled about our name, we're thrilled about our logo, we're thrilled that people enjoy that and want to wear it around town and throughout the country, so it's really exciting for us.
Okay, you look back at your career as a player and in management. You've done a lot of winning over the years, Ron, but then you look at this franchise now, struggled this past season. How disappointing was that?
It is disappointing, especially coming off of last year, right? The first year was new. We were trying to figure things out. We had COVID. It was kind of crazy. We did some things in the offseason, signed some free agents, made a trade, picked up a guy on waivers, and really seemed to hit everything. They hit the ground running last year, had a lot of success. We were hoping similar stuff. I wouldn't have projected that we go from 4th in goal scoring last year to 29th this year. So obviously some issues we have to address, and that's our goal this summer. We're going to go back at it like we do every summer, and whether it's trades, whether it's free agents, we're going to try and fix the holes we think we need to fix to get this team back in the playoffs next year.
When you look at this team and as a hockey fan, you're watching and say, "Boy, we need to score more goals." The fans are saying, "We need guys some snipers out there." Like, is it as quick a fix as signing this guy or trading for that guy? It's got to be a process to make that work.
Yeah, no. Hey, listen. Ideally, we'd like to be able to have that guy. If you look at a lot of the teams that have those guys, they drafted and developed those players for the most part, right? So on one hand, we're trying to put the best, most competitive team on the ice we can. On the second half of it, we're trying to draft and develop and get some prospects in our system so that when they're ready to play, we're going to be challenging not only for 1 year but year after year. And on that side of it, it's really promising. We've had 3 strong drafts. We've got a lot of great prospects that are doing a lot of good things. We had a guy that led the Western Hockey League in scoring. We had a guy that led the Ontario Hockey League in scoring. Our Western Hockey League guy led the entire CHL, the Canadian Hockey League, in scoring. We had a guy who's number 2 in the Ontario League in goal scoring. We had a guy who broke a record that stood for over 40 years in Finland, the top men's league for the most goals scored by a guy that's under 20 years old. We have a goaltender there that's playing in the finals. We have another guy that's playing in the finals in the Swedish League as a number 2 center. A lot of good pieces. I haven't even touched on Coachella Valley, who won the Pacific Division, with a lot of our young prospects in there too. So a lot of good pieces coming there. Some may be ready next year, but more importantly, up here, we want to make sure that we do the things in this offseason that give us the best chance to be successful next season. And that's free agency, that's trades, what have you. We're ready to do that.
Well, I know there's names out there that have made it up here toward the end of the season and they get a chance to work into the NHL. But some of these guys are teenagers, 20, and like you mentioned in your press conference, it takes time for these guys to develop as pro hockey players.
Yeah, it's a little different. I think for the most part in the NFL, you're drafting guys that are, 21, 22, 23, kind of been through college a little bit. And we're drafting kids that are 17, just turning 18. And you're trying to project what they're going to be at 22, 23. And there's a process to getting them there. In our profession, we draft a kid in junior hockey. He's theirs for 2 years before we actually get our hands on him and be able to bring him into Coachella. We draft a guy in Europe or in college, it's 4 years before we can technically sometimes get our hands on him and get him to Coachella. So there's a process that has to go through. This is really only our 4th draft. So this really was the first year some of those kids were getting into Coachella. But it's really exciting that those kids got there and we still won the Pacific Division and have a good chance of going deep in the playoffs. So a lot of exciting things on the horizon. But as I said, we're not taking our focus away from what we have to do here right now as well.
Is there ever an offseason for you as a general manager?
I think we get probably about 2 weeks in August where we can kind of get away. I don't think the phone ever gets turned off, but like we start right away here. We have the U18 tournament next week over in Europe. A lot of draft eligible players in this year's draft. We'll follow it up by pro meetings here in Seattle with our pro staff, our amateur meetings. And we have the combine for draft eligible players this year in Buffalo in early June. Then we have the draft. Then we have development camp, free agency offers, or qualifying offers, and then potentially arbitration that can run through August 4th. So once that kind of gets behind us, we have about a week or 2 weeks, and then we're already gearing up for training camp opening on September 11th with our rookies.
Well, the fans out there, they want to know that Ron Francis and all of his gang are out there working all summer to make this team better. And when you look at this fan base, they're young and old, and there have been some arenas built around here. You guys have a beautiful complex here. What do you think the state of hockey is in this state and the fact that it seems to be growing?
Yeah, no, I think that the support has been tremendous right from day one. They've embraced the organization and the team. A little bit challenging the first year getting our players out in the community to be a part of it with COVID, but I think we've done a better job of that. Not only coming and watch our players play on the ice, but getting to meet them in different events around town. And I think our players appreciate getting to spend time with our fans. I think our fans get to know a little bit more about our players that we think are great people and great representatives of our Kraken organization. So from that part, it's really exciting. I moved my entire family out here to Washington State in the city of Seattle because I want to build a championship team, and that's my goal, and my staff is working hard to do that. And if not, you can ask a few of our wives or our husbands or some of our staff that there's a lot of time and effort into trying to get this thing right, and we're not going to quit until we do.
Yeah, people don't understand sometimes the patience it takes for everyone in the family to make this thing work, not just you and not just this person or that person, huh?
No, it's true. And our amateur staff's been working hard on the drafts. So I think they've had 3 really good drafts. Our pro staff is really good at covering games and giving us names, whether it's for trades or free agency to look at. We've built, we think, a top-notch R&D team. We've built a top-notch player development staff. They all talk together, work with each other more so than I've ever seen in any organization I've been a part of. So that part's exciting, and we're doing everything we can to try and get this thing right for our fans, and we'll continue to do that.
One last question for you. We talk about fans. I'll just throw this at you. As a player, was there an arena, a city that you knew was going to be a tough place to play, maybe one of the toughest places to play?
Yeah, I think back in the day, there's probably a few of them, and they kind of all revolved around the smaller rinks, right? Like the Boston Garden was a tough rink because it was smaller, and they were big and heavy and mean, and it was tough to go in there and do the things you wanted to do because they were in your face. I used to joke with the old Philadelphia Flyers Spectrum Arena. If you wanted to go in there and win a hockey game, you had to be willing to donate blood in order to do that, I think, to get out of there. So I love the old Chicago Stadium. We won won my second cup with the Penguins in there. It was a smaller rink too, and the pipe organ and the fans seemed to be sitting on top of you. But every rink is kind of special. I think ours is really unique with the 2 jumbotrons, the glass on the end, the living wall, and the noise and the passion for our fan base is incredible. So we want to keep ramping it up even more. We got a taste of that in the playoffs last year, and that's our goal, to be able to do that year after year.
Yeah, well, the arena is a beautiful place to go watch a hockey game. You guys always put on a great show, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. We're looking forward to the partnership as well, Ron. So looking forward to being out here much more and talking to you much more. So appreciate your time, and best of luck in the offseason.
Thanks, Paul. We like having you around too as well, so that'll be great.